Hey guys, welcome back to another Wild Beauty Wednesday. As you can tell, I'm in a different room because my room ain't having it today. I just really wanted to be in my living room. Also, the background's really prettier. Do you like my wooden butterflies? And I have a skull cabinet. Without further ado, since I'm not doing makeup today, we're going to be talking about this Sika deer, which is a Japanese deer. It's really cute. I saw one, I think in the Cincinnati Zoo one time, obsessed. And I just pulled this out of my ass today. So we're gonna run with it, and I'm gonna talk about the Sika deer. I didn't really know what a Sika deer is. I feel like it's a very prominent species of deer in zoos. I have seen them a lot in zoos before. It's not really like an animal that isn't kind of well known. Maybe you don't know about it, but I have seen them in zoos in America. But the Sika deer are native to the temperate forest of Asia, and they are the most abundant deer in Japan. So when I was like trying to figure out who discovered it, obviously it's been around for centuries. So there was no specific zoologist, I'm sorry. There is a deer species later on that I will cover that was a little fascinating. It's very elusive and it's endangered. This species, which is interesting, has also been introduced in other parts of the world, such as Europe, actually North America, and New Zealand. Some key characteristics to take out of this video today is the Sika deer are one of the very few species that retain their spots to adulthood. Their pattern of their spots, however, kind of vary in the region that they are. So there are 6 to 14 subspecies of Sika deer, and they can come in mahogany to a black colored deer with spots. So one of the key characteristics is spots. The males can weigh up to 240 pounds and the does can weigh up to 110 pounds. Male Sika deer, just like really any deer species and elk and other animals they do go in a rut, they get very territorial, and they scrape trees and they mark their scent. Now, Salem will get up here and knock it down. Male deer obviously have antlers and shed them out. The females obviously do not have antlers, but they do have little bumps that are black on their head. They're trying to grow antlers and fight these males. I feel like, unlike deer in America, white-tailed deer, these deer have significantly long lifespans, which are 15 and 18 years. They're on the least concern list of conservation, but like every other animal, habitat loss, destruction, pollution, all of those things, poaching, are definitely threats. I don't know when or if there will ever be none of that. I feel like in the 21st century, we should definitely have other avenues to go around that. But you know, everybody doesn't believe in those things and doesn't see threats with those things. Their name comes from the Japanese word. It's very shocking. It comes from the Japanese word meaning deer. Very original. In Chinese, it is also known as a plum blossom deer because of the spots and how the spots look. So I guess it's a little bit better name, a plum blossom deer. It's really pretty. I like it. Winter males form this mane around their neck as their coats get thicker and darker for winter, because I think in those regions of Asia, it does get a lot of snow. I'm not very good at geography, don't come at me. I would assume, since Japan is near, like Japan and like China and Russia are like in that upper right of the world. I mean, obviously Japan isn't like super up there, but it's up there. They do get snow, so it's gonna be a shaggier coat, thicker coat to prepare for those winter months. And hold on, sorry, I was reading this. Unlike our white-tailed deer in America, these deer's antlers stick more so up like elk. They sit up like this, reach into the sky, praising the Lord every day, praising God. They're praising God with their antlers. Sitka deers tend to be more of a nocturnal species in areas of urban development and throughout the day in more rural areas, and the lifestyles between individuals are kind of like that of a white-tailed deer, because I assume that they're kind of cousins. Obviously they're deer. I don't know much about deer, and I just realized that. I don't really know why. Deer don't really fascinate me, so we're learning together. And my dad used to hunt. That's crazy, is it not? But I do know this. Male deer typically be alone. Sika deer will come during mating season, but they're typically loners during when they need to be a parent. They're a deadbeat dad, okay? A deadbeat dad. Also, the Sika deer is chatty Cathy's. They have 10 different vocal sounds, and they tend to be very vocal all throughout the year. They like chitter chatter. Obviously, in differing countries, there is going to be difference in population growth, and Japan has some of the highest numbers of Sika deer, and this is in the hundreds of thousands because of the extinction of the Japanese wolf, which was their only predator, kind of what we saw in America with the gray wolf and the elk herds and the birch trees, where the elk herd was overpopulated and basically killing the grassland because they were so overpopulated. And when they brought back in the gray wolf, which is a Canadian gray wolf, slightly larger than the American gray wolf that we drove to extinction, it kind of balanced out the elk herds. Now, I know a lot of people get kind of heated over that, but sorry about it. Sorry about bringing wolves back in. The cowboys and people like that, like China used to have the largest population of Sitka deer, but due to overhunting and habitat destruction, most of their deer species hasn't been seen, and there's only 2 subspecies that are known to be in the wild. And I'm going to read directly off of my notes because I'm not going to remember all these names. So the North China Sitka deer is believed to be completely extinct since the 1930s due to hunting. The Shanxi Sika deer hasn't been seen in the wild since the 80s and is also believed to be extinct in the wild. But there is another Sika deer called the Manchurian, and it is unclear, but it is thought to be extinct, but there are still very, very limited sightings of this deer. The South China Sika deer and the Sichuan, I'm not good at pronunciations, don't come at me, are the only 2 subspecies known to be wild in China. And there is around 1,000 of them, but the only former fragment populations are around 300 in Southeast, and the other is 400 single population in the other region. The other deer, not the South China, the Sichuan deer. All subspecies are present in captivity, most of them, not all of them. And this is because of lack of suitable habitat and habitat destruction, but the government is trying to reintroduce these captive bred deer. Back to talking about the Manchurian species, some parts of Russia have a population of 8,500 to 9,000 individuals in Russia. But it's a small area in this one town, not necessarily like all of Russia. There are speculation of small populations in North Korea, but we all know the political stance in North Korea, which makes it very, very hard to put a number on when you can't send scientists in to spot them. The original stock of Sitka deer in South Korea is extinct. However, captive bred stock is raised for medicine, and it's captive bred for Korea's last Sitka deer. In Europe, they were introducing Sitka deer as oriental animals in like botanical gardens and parklands, but I'm assuming that some of them got out and they have established wild herds in some parts of Europe, and also in North America they have been introduced as game animal because they were introduced as oriental animals here as well, but they have established in some parts of America. Welcome to America, Sitka deer. In the 1900s, King Edward VII presented Sitka deer to John II, Baron Montagu of something something. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that, but he just gave this man some deer. What a weird time to live in. This pair actually escaped into the Soli Wood and are the basis of the Sitka deer that are present today. Some unique behavioral strategies to kind of evade native deer species were kind of interesting to me. They normally flee from confrontation with the native species, and they're also known to kind of play dead and lay flat when they are in those circumstances with the red deer in Europe, which is kind of interesting behavior adaptation to a new environment. And they're also known to squat and hide in brush. The main predators are obviously tigers, wolves, leopards, brown bears, lynx, and golden eagles target fawns. I bet you the bearded vulture would definitely snag a fawn up if it found it. Talking again about the extinction of most of the China Sitka deer stems from the antlers in medicine, in traditional Chinese medicine, and it was said that these deer were somewhat domesticated a long time ago for the antler trade, along with several other species. In Taiwan, they're prized for their velvet antlers, and Japan is the only country that does not farm them for antlers for their velvet or traditional medicine. If you're curious about the Sitka deer in the United States, you can go on maryland.gov, and they actually have a whole page listed for the Sitka deer. And they said that they were introduced in various locations, including Texas, Virginia, Maryland, in the 1900s when Clement Henry released 5 or 6 deer on James Island. They primarily inhabit some places in Maryland that are islands, but they prefer the thick forested wetlands and have established population concentration in this one particular county. But they only have like a home territory of 1 square mile, but it gets larger in those islands in Maryland during breeding season, obviously. They also have a management plan for those. That's why they were introduced here, is more for like game and sport hunting, probably also for food purposes. And you just have to sign up for their fish and wildlife, like the licensing and stuff. And then I have a few more little facts, and this video is complete. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I didn't feel like doing makeup today. I just really didn't feel like getting it out and setting it up because I've been really busy today. I actually filmed a video before this that's educational about spray tans that's gonna also be up today or tomorrow probably. But I just wanted to jump on here and make sure that I post and upload a video. This one wasn't super in-depth just because it's a least common species and there is a ton of information on it. I guess the last thing before we go is that like the mule deer that is out west, Sitka deer also use bounce locomotion to flee danger. And it's really, really cute. If you've never seen mule deer try to get away, they just like bunny hop. Like it's really, really, really cute. It's like a type of gait these deer do. It just makes it cute. They just bounce when they walk, bounce when they walk. Oh God, now that song's gonna be stuck in my head. I hope all of y'all have had such a lovely weekend. I hope y'all have a lovely weekend and have a good rest of your week because it's hump day. It's not Thursday. I keep thinking it's Thursday. So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go because I'm obviously probably boring you at this point. So thank you. Bye. Have a great day.